We are happy and honored that you've chosen to join us for our Media Relations and On-Camera Training class. If you are a public information officer, chief, sheriff, director, commissioner, or anyone in law enforcement whose responsibilities involve communicating with the public or the media, this class is for you. Hi, I'm Russell Ruffin. This training is based on the in-person, on-location training classes that I have been conducting over the past 15 years at training academies and police agencies in 40 different cities across the country every year.
This is Russell Ruffin at the White House.
I spent my career in television news. I worked as a reporter for NBC, Fox, and various other television outlets.
You survived the trauma.
I was still in college working on my journalism degree when I landed my first job at a local NBC station. The only on-location news events that we were able to cover had to be documented by handheld film cameras, like the one you see me holding here, following the famed Southern Freedom March down the streets and rural highways leading to the steps of the state capitol. Back then, it took days and sometimes weeks of preparation just to cover a news story live. But today, anyone who has a smartphone can become their own television news network. That was the case back when I was covering one of the many Ferguson, Missouri protests following the death of Michael Brown. As we were shooting our video of one of the protests, notice how many people walking behind and around me in this march are shooting their own video with smartphones, iPads, and GoPros. Even before I finished shooting my segment, the story had already been seen all around the world live from the point of view of dozens and dozens of eyewitnesses all around me. In this training, we're going to show you how you can take advantage of social media while continuing to improve your communication skills and using what is nowadays known as the legacy mainstream media, that's radio, television, and newspapers. Today, anyone who wants to generate their own news coverage can do it via social media. Public officials, from presidents to city council members to individuals, can bypass mainstream media by using social media to not only reach the public, but affect public opinion. If you have a smartphone, you can shoot and distribute any kind of information you want, whether it's factual or not. Some mainstream broadcast and print outlets are often relying on social media as their only source for information without even doing their own fact-checking. And that's one of the reasons there is so much misinformation circulating today. And that's one of the factors that makes the job of a public information officer so difficult and challenging today.
Okay, stop right there.
When a crisis happens, it is you, as the PIO, spokesperson, or head of your agency, who communicates with the public.
Put your hands behind your back.
And it's important that the public trusts that what you are telling them is the truth. A lot of newly assigned public information officers tell me that one of their biggest fears is that there will be some major breaking news event, like a mass shooting or a natural disaster, and they will have to go before the media for interviews and news conferences. They say things like, "I don't know what those reporters are going to be asking me," or something like, "I don't know if I'll be able to answer their questions." But don't worry about any of that, because you set the tone for the coverage you receive by using something called talking points. Talking points help keep your message focused. I'm going to show you how you can come up with talking points for any event. And once you have your talking points, it's going to be a lot easier to deliver your message effectively, even if reporters are asking you questions that seem to take your message off track. I'll show you how you can rely on your talking points to keep your message on track. During a news event, reporters will be asking you a lot of questions because they're just looking for any information that they can provide to their audiences. You won't have all the facts at the beginning of a news event, and that's okay. You aren't expected to. All you need to do is give the reporters one or two usable sound bites or quotes along with some helpful information. That will usually satisfy their immediate needs. And as you learn more information, you will be releasing more information. Usually, when you hold an initial briefing or when you release a statement, you are the most informed person in the room. And that should give you confidence because most of the time, no one will know exactly what has taken place or what is going on until you tell them. You may surprise yourself at how confidently and naturally you'll rise to the occasion when you're faced with a major crisis. Talk about confidence. This next soundbite is a sheriff giving a breaking news briefing. It involves a killer tornado that struck in southeastern Alabama that left 23 people dead. With this one event, the sheriff was thrust into the national spotlight in front of a lot of reporters he'd never even met before. They were asking tough questions, but the sheriff had responses for every one of them. Because he had lived the incident. He had responded to the incident. He had seen firsthand the death and destruction, and he had also witnessed firsthand the outpouring of support and love for and from his community. So when he answered his questions, he radiated with credibility and confidence. He knew what he was talking about.
Morning. As we have announced in previous briefings, we have been concentrating our efforts on the search and rescue. And in particular, you may recall that we had 7, possibly 8 individuals who were unaccounted for in the area most affected. I'm very pleased to announce that after a joint effort between the Lee County Sheriff's Office Investigations Unit and the SBI, State Bureau of Investigation of the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency, we are now confident we have accounted for all of the individuals that we had unaccounted for, so that number is down to 0.
That sheriff in Alabama had confidence because he had lived the incident. And that's why a lot of elected officials like presidents, governors, senators, representatives, and yes, public information officers all need to go to the scene of major breaking news events. That's because if you see it with your own eyes, somehow you live it. And if you live it, you'll have a lot more insight into the incident and more credibility and confidence when you speak. I will be showing you good and bad examples of media relations. We will take a look at several news events and sound bites to see what worked and what didn't and why. Some of the topics we will cover include how to stay ahead of a breaking news event, how to establish the accurate narrative of an event, how to create effective talking points to emphasize your message, then how to turn those talking points into effective sound bites. I'm also going to show you how to keep your message on track, how to take control of any news conference or interview, and how to generate positive news coverage. I will demonstrate for you how to distribute your information to the public by using both the traditional mainstream media as well as the social media. I'm going to walk you through the process of creating effective written media releases. They're also known as plain news releases or press releases. They're all the same thing. But what's really effective is not just creating a standard printed news release, but creating video news releases. I'm even going to demonstrate how you can use your smartphone to shoot your own sound bites and video clips, just like a television news organization, only you are in control of the content. Our training is divided up into easy-to-follow segments. If you like to follow along but you don't like to take notes, be sure to download and print out the highlights for each segment. They are listed alongside each segment. We encourage you to watch this training in order. And if you like, you can play back each segment as many times as you like. You can proceed at your own pace by going through one segment per day. Or if you're a quick learner, you can take this training in just one setting. And after you complete each segment, be sure to take a look at any of the free and optional bonus materials that are available for you for every segment. We are providing you these bonus opportunities so that if you need more training in a specific area, you can download that additional bonus information within our training class. So, when you're ready, come on back here, and I'll see you in the next video.